1959. That is the year a developer broke ground on 80 acres of empty land in Mesquite, Texas, 7 miles east of downtown Dallas, and built the first fully enclosed, air-conditioned shopping mall in the entire southwest United States. Between 10,000 and 15,000 people showed up on opening day just to walk around inside it. Over the next 25 years, Dallas would build malls faster than almost any Sunbelt city in America, super-regional palaces of retail that became the social center of an entire generation of Texans. By 2023, most of them were gone. Valley View, the crown jewel of North Dallas, burned 4 times before it finished being torn down. Prestonwood, where Neiman Marcus and Lord & Taylor once anchored the most glamorous mall in the city, was razed and replaced with a Walmart and an Office Depot. And Big Town, the first enclosed mall in the Southwest, the place that invented air-conditioned shopping for this region, became a FedEx warehouse. This is not just a story about malls. It is a story about a city that grew faster than it could plan, built more than it could sustain, and spent 30 years figuring out what to do with the ruins. In August 1957, Colorado developer Jerry Von Frelick purchased 80 rural acres at the intersection of U.S. Highway 80 East and Loop 12. Mesquite was ballooning with young families, and Von Frelick saw an opportunity to capitalize on the suburban migration. He proposed a radical concept: dozens of individual stores locked together under a single climate-controlled roof. In North Texas, where summer temperatures regularly exceed 100 degrees, AIR conditioning transformed shopping from a grueling seasonal chore into a year-round refuge. On February 26, 1959, the doors swung open. James Cash Penney himself arrived to cut the ribbon, welcoming crowds into an indoor world containing 49 tenant spaces and parking for 3,800 cars. Shoppers walked down wide corridors named Broadway and Main Street, flanked by major anchors: a 3-story, 104,000-square-foot Sanger Brothers department store at the north end, a double-decker Montgomery Ward at the south, and J.C. Penney. The property operated as a suburban civic machine, complete with the Big Town Bow Lanes, a 900-seat movie theater, and a central exhibition hall. But the suburban expansion that created Big Town eventually doomed it. In 1971, Town East Mall opened closer to the newly built Interstate 635, systematically draining Big Town's customer base. By March 2001, Montgomery Ward filed for bankruptcy and closed its doors, leaving the property without a single anchor tenant. The vacant complex served one last public purpose. In September 2005, the state converted the empty parking lot into a secure staging ground for Hurricane Katrina evacuees, conducting weapons searches and medical screenings before routing storm victims to shelters across North Texas and Oklahoma City. Demolition crews arrived the week of May 22, 2006, leveling the structures by September. 10 years later, FedEx paved over the site to build a 334,000-square-foot regional distribution hub, bringing 500 logistics jobs to the property where modern Texas retail was born. In August 1965, a different retail philosophy took shape 6 miles north of downtown Dallas. Raymond Nasher, a developer and serious art collector, opened NorthPark Center with a strategy that rejected the sterile, transactional design of early suburban shopping plazas. From opening day, Nasher treated the air-conditioned corridors as a public gallery, installing museum-quality sculptures directly in the pathways of shoppers. Today, the permanent collection features works by Frank Stella, Mark Di Suvero, Joel Shapiro, and Jonathan Borofsky. Worth tens of millions of dollars, this assembly of modern masterworks represents one of the largest art collections in any commercial space in the world. It transformed a routine trip to the department store into a cultural pilgrimage. This integration of museum-grade culture and retail was a highly calculated survival strategy. While other regional malls built during the mid-century boom overbuilt and decayed, NorthPark became an enduring civic destination. In the 12 months ending November 2024, the property reported $1.36 billion in sales, securing its position as the highest-grossing mall in Texas. The center recently secured a $650 million refinancing loan with over $70 million dedicated to capital improvements. Because of this sustained prestige, flagship anchors like Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, and Macy's remained anchored here while fleeing other dying properties across the Metroplex. NorthPark stands as the ultimate counterexample in Dallas's overbuilt retail market, proof that for an indoor shopping center to survive the collapse of the suburban dream, it had to offer a reason to exist beyond the transaction of buying goods. In August 1973, Homart Development Company opened Valley View Center at the intersection of Interstate 635 and Preston Road. It was a monument to the region's explosive northern expansion, anchored by a Sanger-Harris department store featuring distinctive, soaring mosaic murals designed by architect Charles Forberg. By 1979, a massive expansion pushed the complex to 1.6 million square feet, packing 134 stores and 4 major anchors under its roof. For a brief window, Valley View reigned as the undisputed premier retail destination for North Dallas's rapidly growing affluent class. But in a city that expanded faster than it planned, success was always met with immediate, destructive overbuilding. In 1982, Galleria Dallas opened its doors just 3 miles down the road, boasting Saks Fifth Avenue and Marshall Fields. The Galleria targeted the exact same high-income demographic, initiating a fierce, decades-long turf war that Valley View could not win. The erosion was systematic. In 1990, luxury anchor Bloomingdale's closed. The cavernous space sat vacant and dark for 6 years before J.C. Penney moved in to claim it in 1996. While the swap kept the square footage occupied, it stripped away the mall's high-end appeal. Valley View was no longer a luxury destination. It was a middle-market survivor in a territory that demanded constant novelty. By the mid-2000s, the decline hardened into terminal decay. The mall became a ghost town of empty storefronts and quiet corridors. The food court sat half vacant, and only the AMC Theater remained as a reliable generator of foot traffic. In 2012, Beck Ventures acquired the fading property, announcing a grand $4 billion redevelopment scheme called Dallas Midtown. The proposal promised to replace the dead mall with a vibrant, mixed-use urban community of luxury high-rises and walkable streets. But as the empty corridors remained locked and decaying, the grand promise of Midtown remained a mirage on the North Texas horizon. In December 2016, Beck Ventures brought heavy demolition machinery to the Valley View property, marking what should have been the end of the mall. But on that very same day, the Dallas City Council took a drastic step, terminating a $36 million developer agreement after Beck failed to fulfill any of its municipal obligations. Instead of a swift transformation, the site devolved into a decade-long saga of municipal failure and public danger. With the city incentives stripped away, demolition ground to a halt. For years, the half-demolished concrete skeleton of Valley View sat wide open, completely unsecured and easily accessible to the public. The hollowed-out department stores became a magnet for copper thieves, vandals, and transients. Dallas fire rescue crews were repeatedly dispatched to the site, forced to face structural hazards to combat multiple fires. The risk turned critical in May 2022 when a major blaze broke out inside the ruins, leaving 2 firefighters injured. Through all this chaos, the AMC movie theater remained open as the mall's final tenant, forcing moviegoers to walk through a maze of rubble and chain-link fences until the theater closed in January 2022. It took 7 years from the first blow of the wrecking ball for the structure to be cleared. Crews did not finish the demolition until May 2023. The delay drew sharp criticism from city leadership, with Mayor Eric Johnson publicly calling the former mall a blight and a hazard for public safety personnel. By late 2025, developers broke ground on an $85 million mixed-use project, the very first tangible construction on the property, arriving 11 years after Beck Ventures purchased the site. While this initial phase offers a starting point, the grander plans for a $4 billion Dallas Midtown district remain largely unbuilt. Proponents still pitch the site as the future home of the Dallas International District and a new arena for the Dallas Mavericks. Yet, as of 2026, whether that arena materializes remains an open question. Valley View's prolonged hazardous death remains a warning for Dallas, a city that has always expanded faster than it planned, leaving its residents to live alongside the ruins of its previous ambitions. In August 1979, Prestonwood Town Center opened with unparalleled suburban ambition. It was designed to outshine every rival in North Dallas, boasting a premier anchor lineup of Neiman Marcus, Lord & Taylor, Dillard's, and JCPenney. Beneath a spectacular glass-vaulted roof, visitors found a massive center court and a central ice skating rink, establishing Prestonwood as the peak of enclosed retail glamour. But Prestonwood's undoing was structural, driven by highway geography. Within a 3-mile radius, Valley View, Prestonwood, and the emerging Galleria Dallas were all fighting for the exact same high-income North Dallas shoppers. In this crowded arena, infrastructure dictated survival. When Galleria Dallas opened, it sat directly on the heavily trafficked Interstate 635 interchange. Prestonwood, tucked away on Beltline Road, lacked a direct connection to the expanding Dallas North Tollway. Commuters simply bypassed it. This structural flaw turned fatal when the 1986 Texas oil bust crashed Dallas real estate. Prestonwood began a long, agonizing slide. In April 1996, owners promised a massive $125 million renovation to save the property, but the money evaporated and the upgrades never materialized. The anchors fled. JCPenney pulled out in September 1997, and Mervyn's quickly followed. By 1999, only Neiman Marcus and Lord & Taylor remained, and both soon announced they were relocating north to the shops at Willow Bend in Plano. In a desperate bid to survive, developers tried to convert the hollowed-out mall into Genesis Dallas North, a telecom office center, but the concept fell flat. Demolition crews arrived in late 2003, and the landmark Neiman Marcus building fell in May 2004. Today, the 62-acre site is a generic open-air power center anchored by Walmart, Best Buy, Office Depot, and Barnes & Noble, a transactional strip of big-box stores where Dallas's most glamorous glass palace once stood. During the 1980s, Dallas developers built retail space with the same aggressive zeal they used to lay highways, operating on the belief that Sunbelt expansion and oil money would never dry up. That illusion shattered in 1986 when global oil prices plunged. The shockwave tore through the local economy, pushing commercial office vacancies to 30% and triggering the savings and loan crisis. As over 500 Texas banks failed, aggressively leveraged developers faced instant insolvency. Simultaneously, the region's wealth migrated rapidly north toward Plano, Frisco, Allen, and McKinney. This massive demographic shift left older, inner-ring malls structurally isolated, bypassed by the suburban class they were built to serve. When online retail arrived, it stripped away the basic transactional reason to visit. Under these pressures, the traditional mall model collapsed. The few survivors only endured by offering environments a browser window could never replicate, housing museum-quality art, high-end dining, and grand architectural spaces that forced people to choose physical places over digital convenience. In 2026, the physical footprints of these former retail giants exist as active evidence in an unfinished civic experiment. Across the Metroplex, developers are simultaneously carving up these massive land parcels, each pursuing a different strategy for survival. At the former Valley View site, construction cranes tower over the dirt, where marketers pitch the emerging Dallas International District, anchored by proposals for a new Dallas Mavericks arena. To the north, the Prestonwood site operates as an open-air power center. Its central Walmart now draws more weekly visitors than Neiman Marcus ever managed on its best day. In Mesquite, the 80-acre footprint of Big Town, the Southwest's first enclosed shopping mall, has been paved over for a sprawling FedEx distribution hub, while its exhibition hall still hosts gun and boat shows on weekends. Only NorthPark remains intact. It continues to expand, acquiring world-class art and posting record revenues as the one retail model Dallas developers mostly ignored. An actual public destination built on curation rather than pure commercial transaction. The contrast across these sites reveals the true pattern of Dallas development. The Pioneer became a shipping depot, the Luxury Palace became a strip retail discount center, and Valley View remains a construction site wrapped in municipal promises. In a region that has always built faster than it plans, these properties show what happens when a city's ambitions outpace its foresight. Today, the concrete dust of these demolished giants serves as a stark warning. Dallas always built bigger than it could sustain, chasing Texas-sized ambitions without a plan for the aftermath. As sprawl pushes even further north, we are forced to ask, are we building lasting communities or just laying the foundations for the next generation of ruins? Join the conversation in the comments below.